Orchids are extremely special creatures, and today we're going to take you to an extremely special place. This is Bogota, Colombia, and I want you to meet my good friend Dora Glottman. She's an esteemed journalist from the United States.
It's a story of love and a story of flowers, right?
Story of love and flowers, and of a man who has passion for his country and for these beautiful living creatures called orchids. His name is Iset, and you're about to hear his story.
Why do you collect orchids?
Because I start being in. I worked 10 years in a greenhouse, and suddenly I fell in love with these orchids.
Why?
Because it's the worst vice you can ever have.
Worse than the cigarette? What's it called?
Lluvia de oro is a rain of gold.
Where does it come from?
It's all Colombian. All my orchids are special orchids. They are not common. Is meaning you don't find it everywhere. It's very difficult to find it. That is called Dracula.
Dracula?
Yes.
Like the Count of Dracula?
Yes.
Why?
The man who discovered that, they call him like that.
Dracula.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's the man that discovered it.
Yeah.
And where is this one from? Colombia.
Colombia.
But where in Colombia?
All that is cold climate.
Do you know every orchid in your garden? Like every one, do you have a special name for it? Do you know every characteristic?
Yes, of course. They are my children.
How many children do you have then
I
here?
have thousands.
Thousands. How do you feed? How do you take care of this orchid?
No, you know, they grow by themselves. You must speak to them and love them.
In what language do you speak to them?
I don't know, you can speak to them in any language, I think they will understand.
Is this an orchid? No.
Yes, of course.
This is an orchid?
Mas de Valle.
Oh, qué belleza. What's your name?
Mas de Valle.
Mas de Valle.
It's an orchid of Bogota. It's a symbol of Bogota.
What a beautiful color.
My favorite one...
Your favorite orchid?
It depends on my mood. It's like women. Sometimes you like blonde women, sometimes you like black women.
How can you recognize? How can you tell when a flower is...
This is a cousin of orchids.
Esta no es orquídea.
So tell me the story of you smuggling orchids in your underwear. That is so funny. ¿Qué pasó? What happened?
The thing happened like that. I arrived in Buenos Aires and sign a paper that you don't have any orchids in your bags. Of course I signed it.
Because it was not in your bag.
It was in your underpants.
How did you fly the whole time with an orchid in your pants?
For orchids, you have people, you will never believe the story of orchids, what the people did to have orchids.
Because of the price of the orchids or because of the love of the orchids?
The love.
The love.
Yeah. I will tell you a story, very beautiful. Happened last century. It was a tiger hunter. And he went to the jungle in Africa and he was waiting behind this tree to kill the tiger. So waiting, he looked to the tree and he found the orchid. So he left his gun, he climbed the tree, he took out the orchid, but the tiger was waiting down.
Ooh.
So when he went down, the tiger gave him a kiss, and since then he became one of the most important archaeologists in the world.
We understand the love for the orchids, but how does the business of orchids work? Why are they so valuable?
Because all the orchids people are crazy.
Okay.
This is Odontoglossum.
Odontoglossum. And these are all from Colombia, you say? I love the colors.
Here is the
This is
first
it?
orchids. It's the oldest orchid in the world.
What's it called?
I don't know.
The
Do you have-
oldest one, the oldest species,
Yes.
and it grows from the earth, which
From
is
the
very
earth.
strange. So how can I
And I
recognize
thought
this?
it's a bad flower that I have to throw. Can you imagine?
You thought it was a weed?
Yes,
How do you
something like that.
recognize it? For me, there's almost something feminine about them.
That is origin from Himalaya. It's Cymbidium. Cymbidium. the name.
It's the cymbidium. Why? They make me think of women for some reason. I find orchids to be very feminine.
And you know why they are so beautiful?
Why?
To attract the animals.
Ah, what animals do they attract?
Bees, for the pollination.
And this one? This is a beautiful one.
And look how it smells, huh? It has a fantastic smell.
This orchid garden is not only his passion, it's a passion that he began with his late wife. So you continue to love your wife through the flowers?
Yeah, to the flowers, to the house. She's with me. She didn't left me.
In the plants, in the flowers, in the orchids.
In everything.
Your love never dies.
Love can be forever.
Each orchid is unique with its own color and its own markings. Distinctive living creatures raised on a mountainside here in your beautiful country.
By a man that says that they're like his children. They have outlived his wife, they're going to outlive him as well. And you know what? He says when he's gone, he's going to donate them to an organization that can give the orchids both the love and the care that he has done so far.
Along with Dora Glottman in Bogota, Colombia, I'm Brian Andrews. Thanks for joining us.